guys, how you doing? So today's video I'll be talking about postpartum. There's so many unexpected things that I had to experience. Guys, I thought that pregnancy was, well, not really pregnancy. I thought that labor and giving birth was going to be the toughest part of this whole journey. But right now, I think I'm kind of thinking otherwise. Now, the reason that is because, labor and actually giving birth, it passes. The pain is excruciating, but it actually passes, you know. I wouldn't say I don't remember how it felt or the pain. I do remember, but like I said, it was fleeting. I remember I had an epidural, so it was bearable at the later part of the whole thing. Postpartum, guys. I've not really shared this with anyone, but after giving birth, I really didn't experience what we call omugwo. So omugwo is like when either the mother of the girl or the mother of the guy comes over, takes care of both the mother and the baby, and just make sure that the mom has enough time to rest, heal, recover, and all of that. Now, like I said in my previous videos, we had to relocate, and at the time I gave birth, we weren't really all that settled enough to have someone come over to actually help me do all of that. So from giving the baby a bath and all the stuff that I had to do for myself too, all of that was done by me. It kind of oh boy, it was a tough time for me. It was a tough time because most of the times I felt alone. I felt helpless. I felt exhausted and tired. Like I was regretting everything happening at that particular time, if you get what I mean. I can't really explain it. Now, for people that will come to the comment section and be like, oh, don't you have a husband, or take all this out of context, like I said in my previous videos too, my husband had to work because I couldn't at that point. And of course, he was also hands-on. I didn't actually expect that he would actually be that helpful, but he was so extremely helpful. He would actually carry the baby, and so that I don't have to keep waking up at night to carry the baby and feed the baby. So he would actually do all of that at night, which is usually when he's available, right? So now that's aside from what he does, or should I say that's aside from going to work and doing classes. He will still make out time to help with the baby whenever he can, especially when he comes back. And I won't really, like I said, I wasn't even expecting that much from him, but he really outdid himself, and still outdoing himself actually. So kudos to my husband. Yeah, send him this video, tell him I was praising him. Anywho, all of this actually, I know I've spoken about emotions in one of my previous videos about 5 shocking things. I'll drop the link below here, but let me speak more in depth about my emotions and how I really felt. There are no words that can explain what was going on. Majority of the time, or anytime you actually see me, I was mostly anxious. Like scared that, man, what if I did something wrong and something happens to the child, or man, that was the major thing. I was so anxious, and my emotions were everywhere. Like, I was having this feeling of dread. I don't know how to put this. And now, mind you, I'm a Christian, right? I'm a Christian, and obviously I studied the word a lot when I had time. I wouldn't really say that my spiritual life was top notch at that period, because I was mostly very tired. I didn't really have time, to read my Bible, and even these short prayers that I did, I didn't really. I felt that I was a bit disconnected, not just from myself, but from God. I was feeling a bit of a disconnect. So the things that really helped me during that period, aside from actually writing all of this down, is that I started actually picking out one word to meditate on throughout the day, one word from the Bible to meditate on throughout the day. And I was noticing that actually repeating this every day, or repeating that one word throughout the day, actually gave me something to hold on to, and gave me strength. So that's actually one of the major things I was practicing, since I was feeling, man, I can't really explain what I really felt that period. Now, I had health visitors coming. I had a health visitor assigned to me and the child that was just coming to check up on us, mostly measure, the development of the child, and obviously check up on me, and, to also check if I'm fit to take care of the baby. Now, the thing, she actually discussed a bit about, what to expect, that the first few weeks of actually having a baby, you'd feel joy and, the honeymoon stage of having a baby. But whenever she told me that whenever I felt my mood swinging more than often, I need to keep a check on that, because sometimes it could escalate to something more. So having that in mind, whenever I felt, the feeling of dread I was talking about, and the feeling that, I'm like extreme, oh God, I don't know, excuse me guys. Anytime I was feeling, joyful one time, and before you know it, I'm very sad. Like, I wouldn't say it's like bipolar, man. It was extreme mood swings. Being very happy and joyful, and before you know it, I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, I feel extreme sadness, and I'm not sure. I wouldn't say that I really had somebody to talk to about this, because most of the people around me kept saying, oh, you're a strong woman, oh, you're so strong, you're this. But I don't want to be strong, like, this is not the time for me to be strong. Do you understand? So having people saying that around me during that period actually made it quite difficult for me to actually, express, more, like, I don't know how to put this, express how I was feeling and what was really happening. So I think that actually made it, I don't know, it was quite difficult for me to handle, and I had the job. And after my maternity leave, I couldn't go back. Like, I had to message my HR and, tell her that I can't, I could go back to work, but I do know that it's either they'll end up firing me or I'll end up messing some things up, because the role I was occupying it was quite a sensitive role, and and making a mistake in that would actually really cost the company its reputation. So thinking about this, I couldn't go back to work. There are a lot of my freelance clients that I couldn't keep up with their projects, and in hindsight, actually, I wouldn't, or should I say, I didn't really plan, or I didn't predict that I'll find myself in, the state that I found myself postpartum, and if I predicted it, or if I was better prepared, I would have actually set structures in place that would help me run a lot of things without my presence, if you get what I mean. So for example, in my freelance business, I would have gotten help, way before everything fell apart. I would have actually gotten help, and things would have kept running. In my work, I'm not sure I could have gotten help, because obviously you're hired to do a job, so you can't hire someone to do your job for you. So I wouldn't even say that it's a sacrifice that had to be made, because at the time I was feeling more of like my body failed me or my mind failed me, and I wasn't as sharp as, even during pregnancy. I was quite sharp. I was still sharp. But postpartum, it was as if I had to dial down, or I had to dial back in most of the areas in my life. And I'm still going through it, actually. I'm still postpartum. But I would say that I'm actually coming off that phase, thankfully. And yeah, nothing really prepared me for that. And yeah, I think for now, I'll just stop this video here. There were a lot more other things I wanted to talk about in this video, but I'll just stop it here. All right. Now, bringing back the fact that I had to write a lot of stuff down. I had to, meditate on one word. It really helped me a lot. So if it's really something that you're going through, I do advise you should kind of look for somebody to talk to. In my case, I remember when I had to, my husband wasn't around, and I called him. He was going to come back, but I had to call him, because I know that maybe if I saw him and I see that he was actually tired, from going out and, working, if I saw him, I wouldn't be able to express what I was really going through, So I called him and I broke down, So I do advise that you look for somebody to talk to. It's really life-changing. It doesn't help if you bottle things up. And yeah, you can also get the postpartum journal that I'm going to be dropping in the description below. So that's actually what I used to write down my feelings and how I plan to get over it, or how I plan to make myself feel better. And also, yeah, one word a day, one Bible verse a day that you can meditate on, to just keep you going through this time. Just turn on notification on this channel, all right, so that you get updates anytime I post. All right, do not also forget to subscribe, share this video with someone that you think would relate to this video and is also going through postpartum, right? And yeah,